In this video, we're going to talk about the MITRE attack. So let's just start off by talking about the different view modes. The view mode that we're looking at right now is called the kill chain mode. And honestly, this view mode is really just for looks. It looks very fancy. It's kind of fun to mess around with the visualization. The next mode is table. And this is also kind of a visually interesting mode that has some cool animations going on. The mode that is probably going to be the one that you're going to spend the most time in is going to be the flat mode. So the flat mode looks like this. You'll notice, or you'll see, that there are some blue tiles, some purple tiles, and maybe even a few red tiles in here. Now, the idea behind this is that if a tile is blue, that means that we have detection content for that particular technique. If a tile is red, that means that we have some sort of atomic red team test for that technique. And when a tile is purple, we have a blue team detection content for it and a atomic red team test for it. Tiles that have no coloring indicate that we have no content of any sort for that particular technique. You'll see that we actually have pretty good coverage. Almost all of the tools have some type of content for them, all of the actors, and a good portion of all of the techniques have content. Now, how do we actually interact with this interface? The first thing that we need to do is we need to click on one of these techniques so that we can actually get some more information about it. Now, what this little window is going to do is it's going to give us some metadata or attributes about this particular technique. It's going to give us a description section where we can read more about this particular technique. We will have an example section of what kind of threat actors or groups are utilizing this particular technique and what tools are utilizing this technique. Pretty big list. We'll come back to rules. We have a mitigation section, which has the mitigation IDs that are associated with it. Detection. So a small blurb here about how to detect this particular technique, the data sources that are required for this technique. By the way, we can search for these data sources in the threat detection marketplace by utilizing the filters section and going down to data sources. And last, but definitely not least, is the rules section. So if we are, not really doing research and we don't care too much about the description and the examples, maybe we already know that information, maybe we already know about mitigation and detection, we can actually just pivot right to the rules and find what content we have that applies to this particular technique. So you're perfectly free to kind of browse the rules from this little window, although I really recommend that you right-click on the rule number here and open that in a new tab. And what this is going to do is it's going to pre-populate a filter for this technique, which would be scripting. And that's going to come up with search results for that particular technique. And you can now browse all of the content in a much bigger panel with all the additional context that we have. The idea here would be that you have implemented MITRE ATT&CK to some degree. Maybe you have an idea of what your current visibility capability is. You already know what your data sources are, and you're looking to kind of build up your detection capability in a particular technique or tactic. Either you already have some detections, you want more, or you have a complete gap and you want to fill that gap very quickly. Well, you come into the MITRE ATT&CK page, you select the technique that you're looking to fill, and go to the rules section and open that in a new tab. Alternatively, we can also just go to the search page, open up the technique section, and select from the drop-down list or type that in from there. But this is a nice visual interface or visual way of doing that. Now, if we are just kind of maybe doing some research and not looking for a particular kind of category of content, we actually want to maybe look at a few different things. Okay, so the first thing might be maybe we want to look at a particular threat actor. For whatever reason, our threat modeling has decided, or maybe we've looked at our industry and have determined that this particular threat actor is relevant to us. What this is going to do is it's going to give us a visualization that indicates what tactics and techniques APT28 utilizes. So this is, again, another great way of kind of maybe identifying some objectives or some kind of high priority areas within the MITRE ATT&CK framework that you might want to be focusing on as an organization. So that is it for the MITRE ATT&CK page. Please let us know if there are any questions, concerns, or feedback, and enjoy using the threat detection marketplace.